What an amazing Thursday this has been today. Now today we are having a guest, an honored guest, who is going to discuss for us the gift of serving. And what is serving? And tonight, that lady, a founder of GraceVilla, is going to explain to us and share with us her story from the villas of Kabale. Welcome to the show, Ruth.
Thank you, Edmond.
You have lived in America, and at the moment you have come back home to serve. What really motivated you to come back?
Yeah. Well, first let me say it's really an honor to be on your show, Edmond.
Thank you.
I love the topic, the gift of giving. So I'll just say I'm a child psychologist by profession and have been working as a psychologist for many years. And a lot of things happened in my life that led me to wanting to come back home, because Uganda is my home. Not just Uganda, but to Kabale, to open this sanctuary for orphans and vulnerable girls who really, really need a safe haven and a new chance at life.
Now, why of all places Kabale?
Well, I'm a Muchiga. My mother and my father are both Bachiga. So I think that explains it a little bit. But also, when we were looking at building a sanctuary for girls, we looked at where Kabale is situated. And it's actually in the middle of a conflict region with Rwanda, with the Congo. So, and we said that 20% of our girls would be from other conflict regions. And also, silly me, I thought that the rent would be cheaper. You know, I'd be able to look after more kids in Kabale, but turns out it's not. Kabale is just as expensive as other parts of Uganda. But yeah, and then also trust, the whole trust issue, because I'm taking in kids, girls, people's children. If I come in and they've never heard of me and I'm just a stranger and putting children in my home, you know, there's this whole trust issue. But my mother and my father both worked there and everybody knows them. So that actually gave me a boost trust-wise.
Earlier on, you said you had come from America. And you have mentioned clearly that there was a trust issue.
Right.
And what was the perception when you actually opened up this sanctuary for these girls?
Yeah. Varying perceptions. Many people were glad that I was doing it because it's obvious that the need is great to have a place to take in kids of this genre. But yeah, well, of course, you know, it's not that common. I mean, there are other Ugandans who have orphanages and such organizations in Kabale, but it's not common yet. So I get a lot of, hey, Mzungu, you know.
The accent.
Yeah, no, because I'm really light-skinned. They think no, I'm joking.
No.
No, I don't know, you know. But then people have been very happy that we're doing it, and I've received a lot of love, and people have been good, very, very good to us.
GraceVilla is a unique name.
Yes.
Why did you choose GraceVilla?
So my mom is my mentor, Reverend Canon Grace Ndyabahika, Nyonyozi. She's someone who I've admired since I knew that I can admire somebody. Yes. She's been through a lot in her life. She's a reverend.
Yes, I know.
She was actually ordained as the first woman in Africa, her and 3 others, by the late Bishop Festus Chivenjere, the first woman reverend in the Anglican Church in the whole of Africa. So it's been an upward struggle for her, you can imagine, because it's a male-dominated world. But she's done it so well, with such grace and with such, you know, and she's a kind of person who I aspire to be, and hopefully a role model even for the girls. But also the word grace, what the word, you know, if I say grace to you, what does it conjure, what images of girls who are elegant, who are well-behaved, and also a place of grace for the girls. A villa is a word for a home in Italian, but if you went to high school here, we used to call village villa. So, so it's a play on both words. So I came up with GraceVilla.
So how many girls do you host at your home?
So the numbers kind of change depending on holiday time, what the need is at the moment. So it's usually between 12 and 18 who I actually live with at the home. But the whole project has over 200 girls.
Over 200 girls?
Yes, because we don't believe in institutions. You know, that whole thing of an orphanage is an institution where you're taking children. Our first course of action is to find homes for them to live in that of their own relatives, grandmothers, aunties, sisters. But because of this abject poverty that's out there, that whole "it takes a village to raise a child" has kind of is disappearing fast.
Actually.
So as much as they would want to, they can't afford even their own children. So when we come in and say we'll pay for their education, some health care, some food stipend and all that, most times the families say, "Oh, thank God you're here, and yes, we'll take the child in." So the ones who don't have that are the ones who we take in and who we, with open arms, we take into GraceVilla.
So the project has about 200 girls.
Yes.
I'm so interested in the financial element. Possibly I'm talking to a rich lady.
I don't have a car. Our garage is a library, you know. I take my bodas. My mom doesn't like that, you know. Our budget did have a car originally, and a maid and a gatekeeper, and we had this huge, you know, wonderful visions of the girls in KPS, which is our fancy school in Kabale. But reality hit when I moved to Kabale. First of all, the number of the girls that I ended up taking in escalated because I'm actually there. It's harder to turn a child away who's sitting here with you and telling you about things that no human being should go through, you know. How do you turn a girl away who's being abused in the home she's living in? So the number just went over. So we, the girls are now all in public school, in government-sponsored schools, but we substitute by doing coaching. We have so many girls, and you know, so yes, our finances run out faster than I planned. We have no maid anymore. The girls do their own housekeeping. We all cook, we clean, you know, because that's what girls are supposed to do anyway in their homes. So yes, finances are our biggest hurdle. If people ask me what's the tough thing about this, finances. So we do plan to have a fundraiser. If you hear about a GraceVilla fundraiser, please know that we need you to come and be a part of this. And all the money that is raised goes towards educating, feeding, supporting and raising these children.
And Ruth, I'm certainly sure we're going to discuss more in the second segment of the show.
Yes.
And of course, always remember that this set was furnished to us by Prime Impex, located on Kampala Road. And we'll be back shortly.
We'll be right back. Get seen. Get noticed.
Give it all you got.
It starts here. This is Urban Television.
Now.
We are back.
Thank you for tuning in to 30 Minutes with EDMOND SAFALI, as always on Urban TV. Earlier on, Ruth was telling us about the challenges they face in running their sanctuary home. Now, Grace, I know that where you've been living in America and Europe, these guys come up with sustainability ways of fundraising for their homes. How are you doing it in your own way?
So as the need arose, we realized that we had to attack it in our own unique ways. One thing that we do is we have a GraceVilla sewing tailoring club called Chikazi. In fact, this jacket was made by my girls. And in this way we make really unique stuff, laptop bags, clothes and all that, and all the money goes towards the school fees. We do gardening, we do things like that so that we ourselves are sustainable. But we also rely on kind people, the kindness of people. We've received donations from Ugandans, actually mostly Ugandans, more than you know, and even local people, you know, the poorest people who just all they do is have a small tiny garden. They bring us whatever they garden.
Some food.
Local people, yeah, our neighbors who are just thankful that we're looking after their children. We get eggs from grandmothers, we get potatoes, greens. So we're just discovering the goodness of people through all this. But we have a fundraiser first week of December, the Friday the 4th. So if you hear about it, like I said before, please come, because we also depend upon the kindness of supporters or ambassadors like you.
All right.
Yeah, and you, Edmond, you're
thank you very much. Definitely, I'll be glad to be coming in.
Yeah.
Let's talk about I know that you are the president of International Community of Banyachiges.
Yes, I am.
You're now a child psychologist.
I am.
And at the same time, the founder of GraceVilla. How are you able to run all these three concurrently? And how do you feel about it anyway, at the end of the day?
Okay, yes, I do wear three very big hats. But I kind of feel like the three of them help each other, like they each feed off, they complement each other. For instance, if I wasn't in Banyakigezi, which I'm very proud of, by the way, I'm the first woman president and the youngest, and it came through hard work. All three came through hard work. Banyakigezi, I was deputy general secretary, then voted as the vice president, and then now the president. Psychology, you can imagine what hard work went into that, and founding GraceVilla, also a lot of hard work went into it. If I wasn't in Banyakigezi, I wouldn't have fallen in love with Kabale again. It was kind of a reawakening for me. And also Banyakigezi has a lot of a philanthropic element to it, because we don't just have meetings and all that. Each gathering that we have has a fundraiser towards something very important for our part of the world. Yes. We have the KEF, Kigezi Education Fund, and through it we've built different institutes like of plumbing, centers of excellence in IT, in rural parts of the western part of Uganda, so that youth there who wouldn't have access now have access to a good education. So it's the same thing, gift of giving, same thing even in GraceVilla. And if I was not a child psychologist, I wouldn't be as well equipped to help these girls who pretty much all of them have been through varying degrees of trauma. So they all kind of feed off into each other, but I'm very, very proud of each one of them.
Yeah, well, am I right to say that you're a good leader?
I hope so. You tell me. You're on our board, Edmond. You're one of our board members, so you tell me.
No, you could get these honest feedback from other people.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Now, I need to know something, because you see, you are with the young girls. You're nurturing them into being young, good citizens of Uganda.
Right.
How best are you able to try and fight or alleviate sexual harassment in your school? I'm not talking about others, but in your home, in your school. How are you doing it? How are you able to do that?
Yeah. Thankfully, once they come through the gates of GraceVilla, they're in a sanctuary, for real. And I'm teaching my girls to be very strong, to be open, to open communication, to also know that their bodies belong to them. You know, this is their temple, it belongs to them. If they don't want anyone within, you know, that safe space, they have a right to say no. And I'm there. I'm gentle, but I'm very tough when it comes to the girls. I'm at the schools, I'm at the churches, I'm very active, and I'm an active participant in their daily lives. I'm on the PTAs of their schools and all that. So we talk a lot about just sexual, because it is prevalent. It's a sad thing, but it is prevalent. And many of my girls were, well, some of them were abused before they came to the home. So I think open communication, teaching them that they have a right to say no, and also giving them a safe, you know, a safe haven to be in, you know, helps a lot. We have different programs, GraceVilla, like the tailoring program. We have a very big soccer club. We have our garage, like I said before, is our library. So we get girls and we open it to even girls in the neighborhood to come for our different programs. So through it, we get to hear different stories, and there's no better educator than experience. So we're learning as we go along as well. And as much as I'm teaching the girls, they're teaching me as well. So yeah, it's a journey.
Finally, Ruth.
Yeah.
I know you have lived in USA.
Yes.
You have traversed almost the whole of Europe. And now you're in Uganda. How able do you, at one given time, miss America or Europe?
Miss the States?
Yes.
Well, I lived there for 20 years, yeah. But by the time I left, I was ready to come back home. I have all my family here, my mom, my dad. My brother and sister, Apollo and Rochelle, are not here, but I see them often. I'm surrounded by all my relatives, cousins, and if you're watching, hi. So I have love, a lot of love here, and support here. And I miss, in the States, I miss my friends. You know, I miss my friends. I had but I ran its course. Like I was done. I was ready to come back home. So, and I wake up each day just thanking God for this opportunity and all the blessings that come with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now, most of us own mirrors, and in the mirror, we use them to find the reflection of our physical appearances. But deep down in our heart is where we find the reflection of our souls. Now, GraceVilla, under its patron and president and founder, Ruth Ndyabahika, possibly found that reflection from our heart. And that gift of giving and serving is something of a rare commodity amongst our Ugandans. You see, some of us believe that serving, you need to ought to have got something or gotten some riches somewhere. But here is a story from an amazing, beautiful and talented Ruth Ndyabahika, not only in appearance but in the heart as well. And that tells you that we have a role to play in our communities. It doesn't matter whether you have gotten a college degree or not. Each one of us has a role to serve. And if we serve in our communities that actually basically raised us up, then we are certainly assured of meeting the stated benchmarks for our children. And our children have a future because we have given them a platform to rise. And that has been our keynote presentation to you today. Your coach, EDMOND SAFALI. Until next time, and of course, we cannot forget to thank Prime Impex for giving us these beautiful sets of chairs. Thank you very much. Till next time, EDMOND SAFALI.
Get seen. Get noticed.
Give it all you got.
It starts here. Yo. This is Urban Television. Urban.